Well, good evening, Pack Keepers. This is your friendly little blue drake, Lil'Bue. And today we're coming at you with all kinds of comic goodness. What we're doing tonight is a friend of ours on Facebook asked us to do a brief tutorial talking about our coloring system here at Sunset Pact Comics. Yeah, so before we get to that though, I want to walk you through a few other things we're doing here. Now, as you can see, we're going over our blue lines with red lines. But why are we doing that, you might ask? Well, those blue lines are what we call gestures. They give us an idea of what's going to be going on in the comic. And some of you might be asking, Lil'Bue, why don't you just do the sketch right the first time? Well, as some of you comic makers yourselves may know, sometimes going into a comic, we just don't know what we want or how something's going to look. So, what we're doing here is we're just inking them out with the gestures. And again, those are the little blue lines. The best lines, in my opinion. But, and so those gestures, they give us a little idea of what we're doing. And then after we do that and we've had time to think about it, that's when we come back with the red lines and fill in all the rest. Yeah. As we're doing that, I want to go over something that's been going on over here at Sunset Pact. Now, as some of you know, we were once called Dad Comics. But, as it often does, our little business didn't make it. And we had 20,000 people come to our Patreon, but we couldn't get the money up. Nobody donated for our little charity fund donation thingamajigger. Yeah. Sorry. But, so, what we had to do was face a really harsh truth that what we were doing just wasn't working. And it was hard, but we sat down and we had two choices. We could fold it in, call it quits, and just figure something else out. Or we could take what we learned and we could try again. And that's when I learned something. I learned that it's not really a living life if it's not on your terms. And giving this up, what I'm doing right here in this video, I couldn't do that. I'm a little blue drake, but I got big dreams. Dreams. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a lisp because of my little tooth. But, so what we did was, we reevaluated some things. We had to close the doors on Dad Comics and we had to move on with a new company. And that's Sunset Pact. And so far, it's still slow going, but we've had a lot of improvements. And these videos is one of the steps that we're going in. So let's get back to that at the moment. See, what we're doing now is we're going over the red lines we just made with the final lines. Those are the line art. And as you can see, it's kind of still a trial by error kind of thing. See, but with the studio we're using, Manga Studio, it's got lots of good tools that help us, like the curvature tool that we're using for these lines. Sometimes doing lines by hand with the pen selection, you can leave some kind of choppy lines. So the curve tool is great for making smooth, clean looking lines. And then for more detailed things like the eyes, we can go back over with the pen at our leisure. Yeah, as you can see, using the pen, sometimes it's just not as nice looking as those curve lines. But both are very effective tools, as you can see. Oh, what was he so happy about? And I wasn't here for the full meeting. Our artist, Donnie Yule, well, let's just say he doesn't let me in for a lot of the things. Apparently, I'm something of a talker. I'm not sure what he means by that, but anyway, I think I'm getting off topic. Let's get back to it. So, this comic we're working on here is not a Sunset Pact comic. This is a project we're doing in collaboration with War Bros Studios. What we got here is we got some orcs, I believe, and they seem real happy. Something pretty good must be going on. But I digress. You've got the horny little helmet. I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. Anyway, back to business. So, one of the things we like to do here is when you go over the lines, it's kind of like what we were doing with the red lines. We're going to have to go back over through these black lines later, and we're going to have to give them a little bit of a makeover. We use the eraser tools, as I demonstrated before, to go in and touch up the lines. Some people think that drawing a straight line for a professional comic artist is an easy thing, but pretty much like everybody, we can't do it right the first time. We're a whole bunch of little tweaks, little adjustments, and a lot of work. This video is only about 13 minutes long, but this video took over an hour to make. And this is just one panel. And there's 6 panels to this comic, so you can do the math to imagine how long one comic can take a person, especially when they can't just sit down and do it all day, every day. Our little transition there. That tells me we're getting close to the main event. But until then, let's talk about some news. As some of you know, I've got my own little comic series called Little Scriptures. And that's me, where I'm going through and I'm giving you a verse for the week. We want to get up to about 2 comics a week. But with these side projects, we're going to try and at least get you 1. And it's a exciting new project because I've never been in the spotlight. Back at Die Comics, I was just the mascot, but now I'm an actual comic character. It's a pretty interesting process. I'm getting recognized all over DA. It's pretty cool. And there was even some fan art of me the other week. And that, I don't want to say it was an ego boost, but it gave me a pretty good feeling in my belly. I think that's where the heart is. But, as I was talking about earlier with the erasing tool, straight lines, they just don't happen. See? It's not really just a straight motion we do. What I like to do, and what the comic artists like to do, is we like to go inch by inch, going as close to the line as we can and keep it straight as possible. Sometimes you have to jump out to get a good perspective on the whole thing. So, in conjunction with that, here's some nice soothing music to hold you over till we get to the main event. Be back in a sec. Bye! This is Lil'Bue coming back at you. We're just about ready to get started with our main event. There we go. So what we do is we take what's called the fill tool and the magic wand. We place the magic wand over the line art area we want, and we click fill. And then after we do that, we change the shading according to what we need. Here we need shadows, so we select a darker color and we paint over the regular skin on a different layer where we're going to want to shade in. As we can see, we're making the shadows for this orc's helmet. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to take what's called the blend tool, and we're going to go over it, and we're going to rub it into the skin so it mixes with the layer below. And then we're going to take the blur tool, and we're going to rub it over until it looks nice and saturated into the skin. It's actually an easy little process. There's not much that goes into it. Yeah, and we're going to repeat the whole process on the inside of the mouth until we got a nice fleshy pink looking color. What we used to do is we used to use all kinds of things like different layers and Gaussian blurs, but this hand done one with the blur tools and the smudger. As you can see there, it's a slower process, but I think it gives us a lot better detail and a lot better color and more control over the whole coloring process. Yeah, and in less than a minute, you have a nice looking chunk of colored in area. It's the lines that really take the time. Coloring is actually not that long a process for us. Yeah, we are looking good. And with that, we're going to say goodbye for now. So thanks for watching, guys. And you guys have a good one. God bless, Pact Keepers. Bye.